Hi, welcome to The Boys Who Booze. Today, I'm gonna be making an old-fashioned. Now, this is a drink that I order a lot at bars, and lots of bars make them differently. Today, I'm gonna keep this pretty simple. Like, you could do this at home. You don't have to have the training. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a spoonful of sugar, Mary Poppins style. Drop it right in. So we're gonna do a couple shots of these bitters here. A couple splashes, not too much. So I've got my muddler, my bottle opener. This is Topo Chico. You can use regular water, club soda, anything you want. We're just gonna add a little bit of moisture, that's all. So we take our muddler, and we're gonna muddle the shit out of it. Red spit. Now we're gonna take some ice, and we're going to fill the glass with ice. If I was really fancy, I would have one of those spherical ice cubes, or maybe one of those giant cubes. But today I'm not feeling fancy. We're gonna do 2 shots, 2 ounces of whiskey. This is Legacy brand, fine Canadian import. Shots. Bam, just like that. Then you stir it. Stir all that red spit into your whiskey. I'm making you really want one of these, huh? These are the Luxardo brand, Maraschino style cherries. They're super thick. Look at this. Look how thick that is. It's like medicine. No old-fashioned is complete without the curly orange piece. So we're gonna add the curly orange piece. Let it dangle over the side there. The purpose of this is to impress your friends, your family, your pastor. Anybody walking by is gonna be impressed by this. Plus, it smells good when you drink it. So that, my friends, is an old-fashioned. I'm gonna drink it now. That is a good old-fashioned. This might be my favorite old-fashioned ever.
Very good.
Tastes like an old-fashioned.
I feel like I can breathe fire. No, I don't want any more. I think this is how it's supposed to taste.
It is supposed to taste here. You know what? It's good with ice because the ice melts down and it like waters it down a little bit.
Mine's actually a little
You want to like
too watered
you
down.
can let
I'm
it
gonna splash.
let it
No, it's
sit,
good. I'm pretty
you know,
sure it's
you
just
can-
me not like.
Let me try it.
Try it. I'm pretty sure it's what it's supposed to be like, right?
Yeah.
See?
There you go. It's perfect.
So these drinks have been around for a while, right?
These were popular like during the 50s, like the Mad Men era. So like baby boomers, like our parents, our grandparents probably drank them.
And then of course, after baby boomer generation, you had.
Gen X, I think.
Gen X.
Gen X.
Generation
I feel like that's a
X,
drink.
It's a Spice Girls.
No,
No,
it's
it was a Pepsi. Well,
Yes.
actually, it was a song on the Spice World album.
And then you have what considered Generation Y, and then you had the Millennials, right?
I thought Generation Y was Millennials.
What do I look up? Generation?
Generation names.
Generations. I feel like that's gonna be a cosmetic line for elderly women.
Girl, you must be using that new generation.
Generations.
Here we go.
6 living generations in America.
Yes.
Baby boomers were born between 1946 and 1962.
Yep.
After that is Generation X, which was 65 to 80.
Okay.
Okay? And then supposedly Generation Y / Millennium. So I guess that would be millennials, which would be 81 to 2000.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good to know. So, okay, there was an article that we were reading, and I was that you sent over, Deanne, which talked about this in-between generation, and that generation was called Xennials.
Let's look that up.
We should look that
We're
up.
being factual about this. We
Yeah.
should look that up.
XENNIAL.
Okay.
S.
S.
For plural.
For plural. How Xennial are you?
Very.
You used a dial-up modem to do school or college research, despite having been repeatedly told that you couldn't trust anything on the internet.
Yep.
And the dial tone still haunts your nightmares. True or false?
True.
True.
But I never really did it because like the computer was right next to my mom and dad's bedroom, and so like they could hear me logging on because it was like, you know, whatever the sound was.
And then they hear,
Yeah.
Daniel.
True. Very true.
So these
True.
are all. This is all
True.
very like.
True.
It's also not tech based only because the second question is, you remember Boy George, the first time he became famous?
I don't know what that means.
That was in the early 90s, right?
No, it
Well-
was in a culture club.
Culture Club.
I know in the
So
late
false,
80s, right?
true. Do you remember Boy George?
I don't. I know Boy George, but
Yeah.
false.
Okay.
Sure.
You owned New Kids on the Block merch.
Yes.
True.
I did not, but my sister was a huge fan.
Joey.
You made a mixtape for someone you fancied,
Yes.
and it was on a tape.
Yes.
You know what a floppy disk is.
Yes.
True.
Absolutely.
You had one of these.
Oh, a Walkman.
A Walkman.
True.
Yes.
Totally.
Walkman.
Absolutely.
You had a computer game or played a computer game that looked like this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can see their eyes.
You can remember when this amazing phone came into being.
Yes.
Oh, I totally remember
Very
that
popular.
You never thought it was weird that Buffy the Vampire Slayer's Sunnydale, I did not handpick this quiz, had the kind of internet that allowed Willow to constantly hack the mayor, but no mobile phones.
Seriously.
You had or still have a Hotmail account. I don't even
didn't.
remember.
I never had a Hotmail, but I definitely had a GeoCities account.
You are a true Xennial.
There you go. Point
Well
perfect.
done. You understand modern technology, but are not so emotionally needy as to need constant validation from strangers you will never meet.
Wow.
That's like a really
Yeah.
interesting,
Yeah.
quickly summed up,
Yeah. Says it all.
version of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was one like your first piece of technology that you ever had?
Gigapet.
A gigapet.
It was a T-Rex.
Gigapet.
It was a T.
Oh my God.
It was a T-Rex, and it grew up to be a part of our set.
Nice.
And I was
it like?
obsessed with my dad's laptop. He had a
Yeah.
laptop at the time that was so primitive, but I was so obsessed with the idea that you could take a computer
Right.
like with you. Like
It
what?
probably weighed like 20 pounds.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
First piece of technology that I can remember playing with was my parents' Intellivision. But it was like Donkey Kong and Mario before Mario was Mario, and Donkey Kong was throwing the
Yeah.
barrels that would catch on
Yeah.
fire eventually.
So I was just gonna say the first real piece of technology was probably like my Nokia, like my first phone, you know, where you could like pop off the case and get different
Yes.
colors. But then you said gaming systems, so then before that though I had a Game Boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess those.
And for mine was my grandfather absolutely loved Pac-Man and Mrs. Pac-Man. So I think we know a time before technology and we know a time after technology. I want to know, what is y'all's favorite pastime before technology?
I mean, like you would just go do dangerous stuff. You like go get your bike and you'd like drive 3 doors down and you'd see if your friend could come out and play, and then y'all would go like ride bikes, and then you'd see a tree and you'd climb the tree and it was too big and you get stuck up there, but you're like, well, we're sort of fucked.
Yeah.
So like, one of us has got to get down and go get help, or we just both have to get down. And so you just get down, and sometimes you fell, and like it just.
And you fell on top of them, and
Yeah,
maybe like
like,
rub
oh,
wieners or whatever.
God.
Maybe.
Okay,
Oh, that was my
not
pastime.
where my story was going.
You didn't have a pager?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it colored? Was it colorful or was it black?
see-through teal.
I had a see-through teal one too!
My grandmother called one time asking why her scanner wasn't working, and we're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You don't have a scanner. She was trying to she was holding a photograph up to the screen, and couldn't figure out why it wasn't showing up.
Now that's some high-tech,
amazing.
futuristic shit right there.
She was ahead of her time, because I feel like now you could do that.